So, YouTube, hey, thank you for sticking with me, all like 20 of you. We're closing out the series, probably got about 2 more episodes left, including this one, and I want to talk a little bit about the drug use that I've gone through in my life. It's a very serious topic. And I think we should all take a minute here and recognize there are addicts out there who are currently in their addiction and they're stuck and they're very little options to get clean and move on in their lives. And it sucks. There is help. I couldn't tell you how hard it is for some people, because I only know just my end of it and a little bit of what I've seen in my life, and the examples that I'll be giving are people that are close to me. So let's start with meth and coke. Meth and coke. Which one's better? You know what? If I had to pick one and just stick with one, I'll go with coke. Love coke. And the reason I say that is because there was it was kind of like a musical when you did coke. There was a rhythm to things. It's a fine powder you put in your nose, and it drips down the back of your throat, and it tastes like cotton balls being dipped in a rubbing alcohol solution. And once the drips start happening, it would go into your system and you would feel this euphoric high, and it felt great, and it lasted roughly about an hour or two until you put more in your nose. And the reason why I say coke is better, it's just a better, cleaner high. It's just a cleaner high. You know that there's only a handful of ingredients in coke. It's the coca, and then you have your baby powder, laxative, to cut it down, because you don't want to do pure coke. Pure coke will absolutely kill you. So you had to cut it down a little bit, and depending on what the cutting agent was, it would either increase the high or just make the high more sustainable. I never smoked it. I've only put things in my nose. As far as powder goes, I would never smoke it. I've seen what they call muck mouth. Muck mouth is basically a meth head. It's a jagged teeth, gums are all shot out, and it's not a pretty sight, and I wouldn't do that. Okay, so that's coke, my personal favorite. And then there's meth, which is the poor man coke. It's pretty much everything that's under your kitchen sink boiled down to a powdery type liquid stuff that's kind of cooked off and made into chunks. They call it ish, they call it meth, they call it ice, they call it crystal. They have all these names for it, but basically what it is, it's rat poison. You're smoking, you're snorting, you're inhaling poisonous chemicals into your body, which not all the time is the same kind of concoction. There's different formulas from cook to cook. There's never there's not a little science to it. This is kind of whatever guy has underneath his closet, or stashed away, plus some pseudoephedrine, and mix it all together, bake in an oven for 350, 4 hours, and voila, you have methamphetamine casserole. Those are the two main drugs that I absolutely know about, and meth was an ass kicker. It really did. It put you out. One of the big things about meth is it keeps you up and going. It was a party drug, like coke, but it was more of like the cheaper high type deal. You want to stay up for 3 or 4 days doing whatever it is that you're doing. For instance, you do a fat gag of meth, and you're up for 2 days. And as you're starting to come down, your body starts getting tired. It would be like a Red Bull to your system, and you do another fat gag or two, or smoke a toot or whatever, and then you'll get higher and higher, and then eventually the high would peter out. You would reach this sort of plateau of high, and you can't go anything beyond it, and only thing left is the drop, or the down, or the come down. And the longest I've ever been up on that particular drug was about a week and a half, and I came down, I crashed hard, I slept for about 3 days. Yeah, that was towards day 6 or 7. I don't know what happened, but I know I ended up at one of my homegirls' houses and passing out on his couch, or her couch, for a day or two, and waking up and, getting back on that grind. With coke, the most I ever stayed on coke was like 3 days, and that was with various other types of drugs. Now, I don't want to glorify it or glamorize it or say, go ahead, kids, coke is fun. But if you had to do one, do coke. So, don't do anything. Don't say no to drugs. And my personal opinion of marijuana, it's a medicine. It really is. There are plenty of reports out there, doctors' reports, scientific reports, that say marijuana has more of a medicinal purpose to it. I mean, yeah, is it recreational use? Absolutely. Are the people using the medical marijuana for recreational use? Absolutely. Is it a scam that medical marijuana is being used for recreational use? Absolutely. Do we know about it? Yeah. Come on. You're 15 years old, you have a bum thumb, you don't need a med card. If you're 50 years old and you have glaucoma and you tried the chemotherapy and all the cancer treatments and they ended up making you sick, and you figure, you know what, a little bit of weed to alleviate the pain and probably bring the hunger back, yeah, go for it, dude. Absolutely. Now, there are two kinds of three. You have the smoking kind. You have the edibles, brownies, cookies, that sort of thing. You can get something called canna butter, and it's actually in the butter, and you just make the brownies look like you would normally, and you add the butter into it. And then they have the THC pills, which is like a pill form. You swallow it. It doesn't give you the body high, but it gives you, the medicine that the THC through the to the bloodstream. If I had to pick one of those, I'd say the best way to ingest that sort of medicine is pipe. Smoke it. It's quicker. You know what? Overall, dude, weed doesn't damage. Far more. It's safer than most stuff. I think that's where the top at. No, it's not where the top at. So yeah, let's expand a little bit on my drug use. I personally think that the meth killed me. Did it for too long. Lost most of my teeth because of it, and it damaged a lot of the friendships that I had with people that I did count as close. And we got into stupid adventures, and we did stupid things. As for the rest of the drugs out there, it really is a sad fact that people put a lot of poisons in their body to escape the reality of life. Well, when they were young, they just got into it, and they just got stuck in that loop. I don't really care for most people who are currently on meth or coke. I don't associate with that. I don't associate people who put needles in their arms. Try not to, at least. I know people are out there that are suffering because of that, and it reality says it sucks, but it's really to the effect of, so what are they going to do about it? In some cases, it's what they know. In some cases, other cases, it's how they cope. And the larger issue isn't the drug use. The larger issue is the life without the drug use. I've been clean for about 10 years, roughly. One of the better decisions in my life. The best decision was pulling the trigger on the marriage with my wife. But one of the better decisions in my life was to put down the pipe and stop putting things in my nose and, kind of return to a normal existence of life. So yeah, a little more expansion on that topic, and I didn't think I'd probably go that far with it. And I just want to say that if you currently are a drug addict who are seeking treatment or seeking help with the addiction, there are many programs out there. AA, NA seems to work for some people. Sometimes all you really need is a good friend with a nice comfy couch to kick it on for a couple days. Other than that, man, the next episode we'll talk about my adult life and all the good things associated with that. Marriage, Job Corps, and yeah. Peace easy, YouTube.